Hello, and welcome to today's book chat. So, today I'm going to be talking to you about the book The Good Sister by Chelsea Bolan. Actually, really like the cover there. All right, so this is an advanced copy that I received from HarperCollins Canada, their first look program, which was kind of exciting, and it came in a nice package with a mug and flowers that matched the cover around it. So it was my first time getting an advanced copy from a publisher, so that was a little exciting. When I started the book, though, I was a little wary, I will say. It took me a good 4 to 5 chapters to really get into it. And part of that, I think, is each chapter is written from a different viewpoint. And in the beginning, I was finding it was taking sometimes a paragraph or two to feel certain about whose viewpoint the story was from at that point. And so that was a little distracting. There were aspects of the story right from the beginning that definitely captivated me. The look at patriarchy and how that affects families. There's a little bit of mystery in that you kind of knew what was going on, but you weren't sure for certain. And so, before I get more into that, let me just tell you a little bit about the basis of the story. It is about a family in Baja California, Mexico, who has gone through a traumatic experience. Their youngest daughter, we don't know in the beginning exactly what has happened, but something has happened to cause the father to send her away, to burn all of her belongings, to basically wipe her existence from the family. And so the story starts with that, and the an older daughter, Lucy, is deeply troubled by this. The younger daughter, Gabby, was her best friend. She loves her dearly. She doesn't know where she is, and she's determined to find her and to figure out how she can help her. So that's kind of the setup for the story, and I don't think there's a need really to go into much more than that. This story, as I said, minus the beginning where it was a little hard to get into the minds of the characters, was beautifully written. It was very delicate, and it could have been very easy for the author to over sentimentalize many aspects of the story, but I don't feel that she did. Rather, she just kind of put the situation, the truth forward, and let the emotion flow through the reader rather than trying to force it upon the reader, which I really appreciated and I think was very well done. Another thing that I really enjoyed about this book was there was a beautiful lack of judgment. And I believe this was actually achieved by telling the story from so many perspectives. Usually, when you read a book, you have who you think is the good person and the bad person. And I would say that this book, in my mind, makes it very clear. However, I can think of people I know who would be reading the book, and in certain perspectives that I may have seen as they are in the wrong, these people could have seen, well, I totally understand why he did that, and it makes sense, and I maybe would have done the same thing too. And so I really appreciated that, being able to be allowed inside of the characters who I certainly did not agree with. And to see why they made the choices they made, even if I believe and I would hope that most people in the world, based on my worldview, um, would think that those choices were ultimately wrong and represented um, very much a patriarchal society that I think in many ways we've gotten away from, at least in the culture I live in. I'm not personally familiar with how things would be in Baja California, Mexico, but I believe the author most likely had a similar view as I did, but she didn't stuff it down the readers' throats, which was beautiful. And she allowed me to see, even though I didn't agree with those characters, the humanity within the choices they made in the ways um, that they truly did believe they were doing the right thing. Also, to be able to see the blindness in some of those choices, that if they were able to look upon their own lives, they would know in some circumstances that they are not doing the right thing and that the way that they're operating doesn't make sense. Of course, though, the author didn't allow this to happen, which I appreciate because a lot of people don't see the ways in which their own actions are very hypocritical. Um, yeah, so it was a really interesting story, and I got pulled further and further along as the story continued and deeper into it. And I also appreciated that it had the type of ending where we didn't know exactly what was going to happen, and hopefully that's not a spoiler, not going too far. Um, some things were wrapped up, but not all, which allowed for possibility. So, The Good Sister by Chelsea Bolan. Really enjoyed this book. I ended up, as I said, the beginning was a little slow for me, but then I ended up just zooming through it. So if you would like some links to the author's website, to where you can find the book, to read a little bit more of my review, you can head over to my website, charlenecarr.com. And while you're there, if you sign up for my mailing list, you can also get the first two books in my women's fiction series, which is a series that deals with some of the same themes, though in a different way than this book. It deals with loss, it deals with family, it deals with friendship, and with trying to find your way in the world. So again, that's charlenecarr.com. And have a wonderful, oh, one more thing. If you do read The Good Sister and you enjoy it, I would love for you to come back here, tell me a little bit about what you think in the comments. That would be great. And have a good day.